Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another Liverpool show, ladies and gentlemen. And I feel like this one is a bit more special because this is probably the first Liverpool show we've done after like probably. It's funny because I feel like at Aston Villa we actually had a good performance, bad result. I feel like against Wolves we had a good result, bad performance. But anyway, we'll unpack that now in a second. Regardless, this is the first Liverpool stream of the year, really, where we've kind of had like this bad form or whatever. Regardless, big up to every single one of you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're yet to do so. The fraud of the West, you get me? Not Luka Doncic, but from the same city. He's here. Everyone's favorite mustache on the channel. And like Mike is in the building. Hi, Mike.
What's up with me being first all the time now? But big up to everybody. Big up to all the other calculator merchants out there. We're putting the calculators away, even though they're in our back pockets. But yeah, big up.
Here, see, right there.
I got mine
feel
right
like
here.
I have so many things on my desk. It's crazy. It's crazy. Anyway, guys, Mike Das is a prime example of why like human beings can't ever be satisfied. When I used to intro him last, he didn't like it. I intro him first now, and he still doesn't like it. You just can't win. Just can't win. Joining us next, you get me, the English version of myself, the only other emotional wreck on the stream. Guaranteed, he says something crazy today. Man like Jamie is in the building. Hi, Jamie.
No, I'm going to just be factual today.
Okay.
Just facts and breaking people's hearts because they don't like hearing the truth.
I promise you that's not gonna happen. You're gonna say some crazy shit. You're gonna say some crazy shit 100%. But that's why we love you, Jamie. Big up to you, Jamie. Joining us next, you get me, Kelleher's biggest fan. You get me, Robertson biggest hater, Nunes biggest hater as well. Man like Kmack. No, actually I have to take that back. Nunes second biggest hater on YouTube. Man like Kmack is in the building. Hi Kmack.
I was about to say, I thought you were.
Yeah, I'm number one.
Calculated crew in the house, and that was Arsenal's numbers that they'll get till the end of the season, and I'll reveal later.
Fairs. Big up to you, my guy Kmack. Appreciate you. Man said the K in the Kmack is Kelleher. Fair enough. I think even he'd take that.
I'll tell you why Keller should be playing now as well.
Oh, don't. Please
Enough
don't
of this.
Please. You're gonna get Jamie to say something that's gonna demonetize us within we haven't even started. Please.
No one mentioned the word fitness, and we should be okay.
Yes, fitness, Kelleher, fatigue, and Jamie will be okay. Joining us next, you get me. I sent him a picture yesterday of a stream that I will never reveal, but long time ago. This guy's been going for a long time on YouTube, guys. Been putting in the work. Absolutely fantastic to work with as well. JJ is in the building. Hi, JJ.
And he's muted per usual.
What's going on, people? Sorry, I'm tired. I feel a bit ill. I feel a bit fatigued myself. Apologies, Jamie. So, but yeah.
Control yourself, Jim. He's talking about himself, not the team.
Talking about himself. I'm tired. But big up to everyone. Make sure we're smashing the like. Should be a good one. Yeah, let's get into it, man. Let's get into it.
Yes. He's talking about himself, though, so don't get angry. And making his debut on the Liverpool show, ladies and gentlemen. You guys have seen him before on the call-in shows. You've seen him on the halftime show as well. He asked, you get me? I'm done. Husam is the land of opportunities, so fuck it, why not? You get me? New voice. Bring differing opinions to the table. And he's here. Man like Emeka is in the building. How are you doing, Emeka, man?
I'm here. I'm ready. Let's do it. So big up to everybody in the chat. Happy to be here.
Big up to you. Thank you for joining us as well. Big up to Ed, who starts my first payment to Ban Ray Fund. I saw his dumb shit yesterday. I was busy doing a stream. Guys, you guys remember? Probably, I think Jamie will remember the most. And Mike, because they were consistently on every single Liverpool show. Remember when he's on every single Liverpool show telling us all to believe in the team and back the team, basically? He's been sending troops now Superchats saying congratulations Arsenal on winning the league. So
I just you know, I think
Like,
the
I'm
point is
negative
at, like,
and I haven't even
300
gone that
pounds
far.
now. So you know, I think that this guy has spent so much money to ban Ray. We should probably just ban talking about him at this point.
the thing is, he serves his 2-week ban and then he just comes back and says some stupid shit again. I just can't with it. The problem is he has my number as well. He DMs me. He DMs Tom Little as well, some stupid shit. But I'm sorry, Ed.
That's like
Anyway.
a random amount of money. Is that what you had left in the bank or something?
Like
Yeah,
16
no,
out of 16-10, you mean?
Random.
Oh, it's random.
No,
Sorry,
no.
Wait, but
Can
here
I
we
just
are.
say the two girls below us are looking 16 out of 10s today, both of them.
And
He
like
didn't understand the lore. Kmack didn't get the lore.
Yes, you don't get now everyone knows. now everyone knows. Regardless, listen, big up to all of you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe, every single one of you. Absolutely incredible, amazing people. So let's get this party started. And I want to start off with Kmack because he's making his debut. Our first topic before we open the floor up, because I don't want to do this whole, like, I feel like sometimes we're moving like lieutenants out here, you know, like we're at like in the army or something. You know, after Kmack goes, we'll just open the floor up, and whoever wants to say some shit, say some shit. But let's just let him express himself because it's first time. Liverpool this week. So this is the first topic. Essentially, the win against Wolves and the game against Aston Villa as well.
Yeah. I think for the first, obviously we're going through a bit of a tough stretch right now, and I think from what I'm seeing online from different fans and content creators, everyone's kind of has a different explanation or a different reason why they think it is. And I'm hearing a lot about fatigue, and I'm hearing a lot about other things. And I think we're at a point now, especially with a lot of our players, where everybody's playing 3 games a week. Like, it's not just Liverpool. Arsenal's doing the same thing. Like, if anything, they're playing pretty much the same squad, the same way we are. So I don't really want to hear about fatigue, except for a couple. The only people we could really say that for, I feel, is probably Gravy, Salah, VVD. Are you stopping me, Husam?
No, I'm not. I wouldn't stop you with sign language. I'm just responding to the chat. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Go on.
Yeah, I just feel like it's the players now. Like, I think for the first time we're seeing that the nerves are kind of getting to them in a sense. I think it's a little bit in their head now, like that final stretch. We had 2 opportunities, I feel like, to step on Arsenal's neck. Obviously, the first being Everton. Yes, we did get cheated at the end there. Obviously, I think that the foul should have been called on Konate, but again, we could have done more to make sure we weren't in that position. And then again, versus Villa, it was just not a good performance overall. And that's 3 games in a row now where the team just hasn't been stepping up in a sense where I always feel like Liverpool Football Club, we never like to do things the easy way. Like, the league, pretty much, Arsenal would have saw us go 10 points clear. They would have been like, this is an insurmountable lead. And now we've put ourselves in a position where we've drawn PSG now, so we have 2 tough games coming up. We have a final coming up. Arsenal has an easier draw than us in the Champions League. I still think we'll get it over the line in the end, but I think it's too simple to say fatigue is the issue. I think there's deeper. I think it's just I heard you mention on a stream the other day, Husam, that I think teams now have clocked in on our strategy in terms of our system does revolve a lot around grab and birch. And if you can snuff that out, essentially, I don't think Salah has figured out a second way for us to go about playing his strategy and playing his way of football. And I think that's what we've been seeing the last few games. Obviously, that coincides with Gravenberch also having a dip in form, which I think is understandable. And Slot, to me, has to hold the blame for that. He kept saying we have 2 players per position. Like, I'm fine with who we have. yet you don't want to play Endo, you don't want to play Harvey. So obviously we're going to be in a position like this where guys are going to start getting tired, specifically Gravenberch. I think Slot's overall done a good job of rotating guys and taking guys out at key times, but I think he's really failed Gravenberch in that sense, where there's games where we've been up against lower opposition where I think Endo easily could have come in at the 60 or the 70-minute mark, and Gravenberch could have got his rest that way. But he's basically playing Gravenberch the way we play Salah and the way we play VVD. And those are two guys that we know don't get injured, right? For the most part, VVD got injured, basically a freak accident. Salah got injured last year, but for the most part, those guys can play every 3 days, no problem. Gravenberch, 22, first time in really getting consistent minutes in this league. I think Slot definitely could do a better job of managing him, and hopefully we see that going forward. But like I said, I don't think it's as simple as fatigue. I think that's a cop-out for the players and the coach as well. And that's basically how I see it.
I think rotation would have been nice and everything, but just for 10 seconds, I completely agree with that. And I was asked about this on Kopish as well and said the same thing. I think they're doing Jorginho Sarri treatment to Gravenberch. Any opposition team is coming up against Liverpool is let me stop Gravenberch, and I stop them playing out from the back. Honestly,
I have to disagree with the importance of that. Okay, looking at Wolves, we went up 2-0 in the first half, and then it was a dog shit second half, but we got the 3 points, so it doesn't matter. You're allowed to have dog shit second half. Should you have no shots on target or even in general against Wolves in the second half at home? No, but we ended up getting the full 3 points, so it doesn't matter. Going to Villa, right? Was Gravenberch great? No. But did we create enough in the first 10 minutes to score 2 goals? Yes. Did the players up front get the ball in the back of the net? No. Once Villa tied the game up, who had the one-on-one? If the Jota of old puts that in the back of the net, Villa are not scoring a second goal. If you score to go up 2-1, 2 minutes after, remember, everything past that point changes.
2-0 actually at the time.
No, it would have been 2-1. Jota's chance came directly after the tying goal by Villa, right? And so if Jota scores, also remember, I hate, this is a big pet peeve of mine, when people go back to earlier points in the game and they say, well, that would have made it 3-2. No, that would have made it 2-1, and every action from that goal would have been different. We don't know what the final score would have been, but I bet your ass we would have won that game if Jota had put it in the back of the net. And then
I agree.
Going on to the second half. Listen, the second goal, how many times have we seen that same sort of chaotic defense? I'm sorry. The first goal, we've seen that sort of chaotic defending against set pieces. I've said it week over week. We don't score from set pieces, and we always look like we're going to concede from set pieces. Then the second goal, a couple people got caught sleeping. It's a great ball into the box. Ollie Watkins finds space. He finds a pocket. It's a perfect header. We end up getting the equalizer, right? Some people said, oh, Trent was there. Trent scored the goal, and then Arne Slot took him off. I'm like, in hindsight, you can view that as being a problem. But if Darwin Núñez scores either of the two, I don't care about 0.89 XG. Those are each a 1.0 XG. You either pass it to the right and Mo's in on goal by himself, or you slot it into an empty net. None of us are saying anything about Trent. Because guess who the guy who played the incisive pass to Szoboszlai was? The guy who came on to replace Trent. It was Connor Bradley who found that space, who picked him out, right? To me, the issues in the last, 2-3 odd weeks is very simple. It's just the players. They're not getting the job done. If Gravenberch gets isolated and he can't work, I'm not going to sit here and say that the entire system has to depend on Gravenberch, because he wasn't good against Villa, who are a good team at home, and we still should have scored 5 goals without Gravenberch doing anything. That game alone, to me, is our incompetence up front. Everyone except Mo Salah, because Mo Salah actually finished his dinner. But if Darwin Núñez puts that in the back of the net, no one is sitting here talking about Gravenberch being isolated. We would say, look at what we were able to do with the fact that Gravenberch wasn't doing well. I don't think it's fatigue. If anything, I just think we like to play this 4-2-4. I know that some people don't like the 4-2-4, or they don't like the 4-2-4 conversation, but I just think at times Szoboszlai is a little bit too expansive. He's too far up the pitch. We don't have a third option, so they're able to play that box and overload our midfield. But recently, it just comes down to lack of a cutting edge. Because if we have that cutting edge, we would have won that game 4-2. And, outside of all of the defensive mistakes that we made against Villa, we can talk about the chances at the very end of the game, but that comes after you've missed 2 easy goals. We never take into consideration the mental fatigue that would have on a team. Like, I want you guys to go back. There's a clip right after Darwin Núñez missed that opportunity, and it pans to Arne Slot. It pans to Arne Slot, and Arne Slot goes to the 4th official, and he says that was offside, right? And the 4th official said no, and he just sighed. He was praying that Darwin was offside so that he wouldn't have to consider that an opportunity. It's the same thing with Darwin trying to chip Martinez. You have Szoboszlai and you have Mo Salah to your right. If you just kick it with any speed to the right, you have 2 players in, completely free, open net. It's just like that game alone. I think it's very simple. We did not score. We should have scored more. I don't think that the Villa game is worth overanalyzing. And we've seen those defensive mistakes before, but we should have scored 5. So who cares if we conceded 2? It would have been like against Spurs. We won 6-3. None of us were sitting here talking about our defensive mistakes. We're like, we scored 6 goals. It does not matter. Those mistakes don't matter. And most of those goals came when we were up 5-1. We went up at 4-2. I don't know. Maybe I'm just riffing here, but I don't think it's super
I just want to quickly rebuttal that quickly, because I feel like if we're being realistic about our players, but that's kind of the common theme now for a year and a half, right? We should have scored 6. We could have scored 5. Clearly the players, like, we don't have those players up front. And I don't think it's as simple as saying, because I agree in a sense, just the way that Villa game went, if Jota scored there, I do think we would have won. But then that doesn't explain the Everton game where we went up 2-1 and drew.
Yeah, no, I'm just talking about Villa. Like, just this Villa game.
But I think you have to look at the whole season because it's becoming a trend, right?
That's what I want to talk about.
Everton up 2-1, drew. Yeah. Man United up 2-1, drew. Newcastle.
You're taking away what I'm going to talk about now.
So I just think that's what I'm saying. It's like the players now, like it's quality now. So yeah, go ahead. So I want to look at it at a different angle, okay? Because I know a lot of us are hurting because we've dropped 4 points in the last 3 games, and I get that, okay? But we've also gained 2 points from those games, okay? So, we can look at it from different angles. We dropped 4 points, but we gained 5 points, okay? But what I'm more annoyed about, and I think we should be more annoyed about, is the games against Manchester United and the games against Fulham at home. Because they're games we're winning, yeah, and they're games we've dropped points at home, okay? Dropping points away to an Everton when it's their last game at Goodison against us, I'd say that's a point gained. Like, we very rarely win at Everton, okay? That's just a fact. So you write that one off. And we were in the game winning in large parts in that game. So I count that as a point gained. But I count Man United at home 2 points dropped, and I can't look past that. And then you've got the game against Aston Villa. Aston Villa have been beaten once at home by Arsenal, and they're a good side. Like, we've had their card written a few times, and I get that. But that was another game where we were massively in that game. Jota had 5 shots. The way we played the midfield, where we played Jones as a left winger that overloaded the midfield, might be something we're looking at so we can kind of dominate the midfield a bit more. I don't know, but it worked because Jota got loads of chances and so did Darwin Núñez to win the game. But then we dropped 2 points against Fulham at home. Like, and I get it. We went a man down. It was a daft thing by Robbo, but we should have won that game. And they're the games that I'm looking at going, they're the points we've dropped. Like, the games away against Villa, the games away against Everton, they're points gained.
Yeah, but you're talking about results here, not performances. And the context of which we drop points. The problem with Aston Villa is the fact that we had about 5,000 chances in that game. And the problem with Everton is we were 2-1 up in the 95th minute. That's the problem with both games. It's not the result in isolation. It's the way we dropped those points. That's frustrating.
Those 2 games for me, they're the 4 points we've dropped. They're the ones that really hurt the most. Man United and Fulham. Like, Should win your home games. Like, all we need to do is win our home games, and the league's showing up. Like, seriously, it's that easy. Like, 7 games at home, we need to get 4 points away.
If only it was that easy. If only it was that easy. Saying,
we are a fortress. We should be a fortress. Like, we shouldn't be dropping points at home.
That's like emotionally based. Like, the league isn't like that, especially at the back end of the season. We're like, Anfield this season has not been the Anfield of old. We don't walk into games and barrel over teams. We scrape by wins. And we lose and we lose to Nottingham Forest.
Am I the only one who's completely calm?
I'm calm, Jamie.
I'm
calm, Jamie. I'm calm.
I'm literally pretty calm about the whole thing. I'd rather be 8 points in front than 8 points behind. Look, the Villa game is what it is. Liverpool will find a better team. Slot got his tactics banging. You only have to look at the stats of the game. I think Liverpool had like 12 shots inside Villa's box. So it's just poor finishing that let us down in that game, quite simply. I will say one thing. No one spoke about him yet, but I think all our good attacking work against Villa was because Trent was on the pitch. Being creative in the middle of the park. We literally were crap as soon as Trent came off. As soon as Trent came off, we were crap.
How could you say that?
Because I watched the game, Mike.
Both of the opportunities that we had to win the game were when Trent came off the pitch.
No. Yeah, we could have scored 4 goals when Trent was on the pitch as well.
Yeah, 100%. We also could have conceded.
All our best attacking play came when Trent on the pitch. So I'm not going to have my dick out for Conor Bradley like you. I'm cool. Trent's the better right back. He's the better right back. It's a fact. Our attacking play, we haven't got a midfielder. We haven't got a player in our team in attacking phases of play like Trent Alexander-Arnold. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. The positions he picks up on the pitch and the overloads he creates with his passing and the way he opens up opportunities for everyone else on the pitch is better than any player we got at Liverpool Football Club. It's just a fact. It's just a fact. I know everyone's going to talk about his defender and all that, but no one else does it but Trent. No one. It's as simple as that. He creates all the opportunities. He creates the overload in midfield in wide areas of the pitch. So Bosley can get in and around the box because Trent can find the pass to him. He can use them off position. Now, is it Trent's fault that certain players in our team can't keep possession and then we get countered on? No. So we should be talking about them players as well that can't keep possession high up the pitch. I thought Trent was very, very good against us. I thought Trent was very good.
I'll let Jerry take that one.
I thought Trent was extremely good against Aston Villa, in my opinion. He had all the best attacking phases of play, and that's why he plays. Also, Robbo. I thought Robbo was decent as well. I think Salah should have scored from that Robbo assist when he headed it over the bar. He should have headed it back to the far post and got a goal. I thought the fullbacks played well. I really did. The reason, by the way, we concede a lot of chances in our box in the last few games. If you go back and look at Aston Villa's second goal, Ronnie Watkins, Alexis McAllister just lets him run past him. Like, he's right there. Alexis McAllister's in the box on his own. He sees Ronnie Watkins there, and he runs right past him. And he scores an easy goal. There's other things.
I thought Robinson was really good against Aston Villa.
Virgil was on the goal line for that play.
He was good.
He was horrible versus Wolves, but really good against Aston Villa.
I mean, I'll just state facts. That's it.
Jerry, you want red carpet, Habibi? Welcome to the show. We've been here you've only been here.
He said he's fatigued.
I'm fatigued. No, but I'm listening. I've said it before. I think Liverpool's biggest problem is, regardless of what we think, we don't have ball players in the team. And what I mean by that is in the first thirds of the pitch, starting with the goalkeeper, then the midfielders, bar when Trent's on the pitch, and then the DMs and the deep line midfielders that come in. They cannot go and they cannot pass the ball when we're playing this slow tempo. Liverpool's team has always been based around transitions. We're best when we're in transition. We're best when we're counter-attacking or getting good pressing, winning, like counter-attacking the counter-attack. That's when Liverpool are at their best. If a team sits back and we're playing this slow football, bar Trent, and this is why I talk about how important he is in terms of playing the passes through the lines, Gravenberch cannot do it. And you can see why, and I go back to it, why Slot wanted a Zubimendi. Gravenberch is great as a ball carrier. He's a ball carrier. Great when he drops the shoulder and tight spaces.
Connector.
But when he hasn't, but when there's no space to drop the shoulder into, and you stand off Gravenberch, and you're like, go on, beat us just with a pass, he can't do it. And that's why he's not the ideal DM. That's why he's not a Busquets. That's why he's not, because there's other facets of the game that you need. He's fantastic when the team's in transition. He's fantastic if there's space. If you try to press him and there's space in behind, that, do you know what I mean, towards the goal, we'll drop the shoulder and beat you. But if you sit off him and you're like, go on, there's two of us against one of you in here, which is Gravenberch, could do something here. He's not going to be able to, unless he takes both of those players on, he's going to have to go and find a pass. And a lot of the time, Gravenberch ends up playing sideways or backwards. Same as McAllister. Same thing. He hasn't got the legs. And the difference is with McAllister, you press up on him and you want him to drop the shoulder and turn. He hasn't got the legs to get away. So if you're relying on a two to go and build up, going to Mike's point, if you're relying on a two to build up in midfield, they need to be so good on the ball. So good in terms of like, get the ball, just able to just play forwards quick, when that ball pops into them. Ultimately, it's still something that we're working on, and I think it's evident. I don't think Gravenberch is tired. I don't think he's fatigued. I don't think his form is as a result of, you know, oh, he hasn't got the legs, or, I mean, he's 22 years old, and I mean, he's not been protected, he's been failed. Not at all. It's just teams realise, all right,
stay off him.
We want to run with the ball. I'm just going to stand. We're just going to stand behind you. We'll give you all the space behind. We'll give all the space to Virgil van Dijk and Konate to stand on the ball and muck about with it and go left to right. As soon as that ball goes to Gravenberch, we'll allow him to stand off. If McAllister gets it, we go tight. So now you're asking McAllister to do the running in behind. So he does that, but when he does that, he's not Gravenberch, he's not Szoboszlai.
And Jerry, it also then leaves us isolated, and Gravenberch is on his own.
Exactly. Hence why when you go back to Trent and why Trent's important, because Trent will pick up the ball inside the midfield, and yeah, back to goal might not be great, but when he's facing play, guess what? He's got to find the pass, and he might not work the first or second time, and he might not get an assist, but he's punching that ball straight into Jota. And the amount of times he did that in the game, it was evident that, do you know what I mean, he was effective. Then when he went and got forward and got the goal, you could see there was an onus on him, and it was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna burst into those areas. That's where you need your teammates to go and cover. Henderson done it for ages. We had Fabinho doing it for ages, and ultimately you need that if the player you've got is at right back and has to end up in the central areas to score a goal. Because if Trent shoots and that gets deflected, right, and that ball goes straight over to Trent's area, someone's got to be covering there. At that point, it's not about Trent.
I think taking off Trent ruined all our momentum.
100%.
You wouldn't, but you wouldn't say that if Darwin Núñez put it in the open net. You wouldn't.
No, I would still say that.
You could still say it's momentum, but just say it worked out for the best, because
we had two chances where there was an open net,
and we had about 15 when Trent was on the pitch.
they had a goalkeeper and a defender. It was literally open nets.
I'm not saying you're.
I'm sorry, Emeka. There's no layout with 4 people next to each other. I'm sorry.
I'm not saying that you're wrong, but that's a hindsight perspective. Like, I didn't want him to come off at the moment, but in hindsight, you were saying that. In the moment, we immediately created 2 opportunities within 10 minutes of that substitution. 65th minute, Darwin Núñez misses the open net. 74th minute, Darwin Núñez doesn't play the ball in to Mo Salah, who's completely by himself. That's 2 opportunities. That's 2 goals. Those are 2 goals that should happen no matter what. And one of those is due to one of the substitutions. In the moment, I agreed. I would have rather kept Trent on, but to go back in hindsight and say that it killed all the momentum, I think that that's disingenuous for the time in the game. That's a hindsight.
But at the time, Mike, you probably sat there and were like, why the hell is he coming off? I know every fan went and said that.
I did. And then Núñez missed those opportunities. So like I'm taking my perspective of watching it through the 90 minutes. When he comes off, I'm like, I don't know why he's coming off. He just scored a goal.
Okay,
I
so
don't
that
like
was 7 minutes of good football after the Trent substitution. The
10.
remaining 25 minutes after that, we didn't have good football.
But,
So
but you're
the
also
momentum was-
you're not taking into account the mental impact
It was
of
the
Darwin
swing.
missing two
The swing.
opportunities to
Yes,
score a
but
goal.
but you're taking away the impact of everything Trent does, and me and Jerry tried to explain this last week and the week before. Is not always shown on the stats sheet because he gives you when you get Trent the ball in the middle of you getting pressed on the right hand side, he gives you an outlet. He gives you a 40-yard diagonal that no one else is capable of playing. He gives you playing out of the press. He gives you deep line playmaking. He acts as a fourth midfielder. I think this whole covering for Trent thing is absolute bullshit. Like, specifically us as Liverpool fans. Like, listen, Klopp asked him to do this. Slot is asking to do this. There's clearly a reason why we're asking Trent to attack, because of the second goal, because he takes risks. And I get with Slot, like, it's a premeditated sub. Like, oh, we're gonna take off Trent in the 60th minute because of
It
fitness.
wasn't him.
I'm not asking you to play him 90. Just play him 70. Just give him 10 more minutes. He just scored. He's cooking. Just give him 10 more minutes. Let's just see where we go from there. Like,
But
you know,
you're not,
It wasn't
maybe
him.
he scores
You're not
another
even
goal.
hearing
Maybe
the
he
point.
creates a goal.
You're-
I don't
It
know.
wasn't
you're
him.
not hearing the point that I'm
Wasn't
trying to
him.
make. The point that I'm trying to make is that if it's premeditated and Trent is supposed to come off at the 60th minute so he doesn't get hurt, Trent goes off, and then the people who come in finish their chances. Everything goes according to Slot's plan, right? Trent came off, no risk of re-injury. Darwin Núñez scores the fucking completely open net. We leave with 3 points. Fair play. No one's sitting here saying, oh, the substitution came
I
at the wrong
agree with
time.
that. No, I agree with that. I think the biggest problem.
Can I mention one other thing? Just one other thing, which is probably the reason why the momentum swung the other way. And Slot talked about it. Darwin Núñez
His head.
stopped playing football once he missed the second chance.
Yeah.
He stopped. He didn't run around anymore. It was like literally having 10 men on the pitch. Even Slot talked about it.
Ultimately, a lot of the
Gave
time,
up.
to be fair, but a lot of the time, it's been that in games. I think the biggest problem Liverpool have, and it just goes back to my original point. And look, Trent coming off is fine. I mean, Bradley came on, he played the pass to Szoboszlai, which ultimately led to that chance that we could have had. So he was fine. Defensively, you can maybe make an argument for it. He's a bit more intense. What Liverpool needed to do, though, is have players on the pitch that would control the game and not panic as the game continued and went into the latter stages of the game. What you have with Liverpool is Liverpool panic. Szoboszlai starts to panic. Gravenberch starts to panic. Konate starts to panic. Everyone starts to panic, as opposed to being really, really patient with it. A la rivals Man City, back in the day, they'll pass you to death and they're going to score at the end because they're just going to tire the team out and they're not going to leave their half. Liverpool haven't got that. And that's why it goes back to when you look at the bench and the options on the bench, bar a Curtis Jones that at times, I mean, maybe takes too many touches or might not be on form or whatever. We haven't got players that are comfortable enough to just give me the ball. We're going to keep it in your half and we're going to tire you out so much. There's going to be opportunity where it's not us in transition. It's just we play the ball into Salah and he's wide open because this team's knackered right now. Liverpool ultimately need to get to that level. You can't play this slow build-up football for a majority of the game and then all of a sudden try to turn it on. It's really difficult to go and do that. Hence why Liverpool back in the day used to start really fast, because you start as you mean to go on. If a team sets up as a low block starting, we're going to just defend. Once that goal gets conceded, you see it, a lot of teams capitulate because to get into the mentality of now we've got to go on the attack, it's difficult. If Liverpool are going to play the slow build-up, that's fine. But there has to be purpose and you have to have the personnel to be able to go and do it. And it doesn't make sense that, you know what I mean, you have Szoboszlai on the pitch that looks better in transition. You've got Núñez that looks better in transition. Jota that looks better in transition. All of these players that look better in transition.
I'll tell
we're
you
trying
a
to play the
player.
slow build-up. It doesn't make sense to me.
I'll tell you a player that does play the way Slot wants to play, and that's Curtis Jones. That's why he plays and Harvey Elliott don't. Because I know people don't like Curtis Jones holding on to the ball, but I think Slot doesn't mind it so much because, you know, he's holding on the ball, he's slowing down plays, bringing players into plays, playing the easy pass, the give and go and the movement. And I think that's why Curtis plays a lot, because he plays that Slot kind of way. You know, Jones ain't great in transition. Jones rather play build-up football. That's why he spoke about it in pre-season under Slot. I'm playing more the way I want to play through midfield, because he wants to play build-up football. He wants to play 1-2s, hold on to the ball, move, go. and play triangles and stuff like that.
But
That's
what
way
you
more
need,
play.
but what you need,
You
Jamie,
need others around him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You need.
Yeah.
It's not whether he's good enough or not is fine. But I mean, people have their opinions. But you need everyone on the same wavelength. You can't have one player doing it, another player doing it in Virgil van Dijk, but then you get it to Robbo, and Robbo just punts it forward and sprints after the ball, and it's like, whoa, we're trying to just contain here. Or someone that all of a sudden just Trent sometimes is guilty of it. He just smashes the ball and gives a 40-yard when he doesn't need to. Like, you need everyone on the same wavelength if you're going to play a certain way.
What midfield battle did we lose?
Last 25 minutes.
The last 25, we just weren't playing the
last
We just
25
football.
the last
We stopped
25
playing the whole
minutes.
sport.
Just the last 25 minutes, just put it into perspective. Yeah, last 25 minutes, we had two of probably the most clear-cut chances in the entire game. Yeah, which weren't taken. Yeah, the player that took those chances, that didn't take those chances, then stopped playing, according to the manager, and we all seen it anyway. We then had our right back injured, so we then had to play a centre back as a right back. So that's disjointed.
Yeah, we got better when he actually went off as well, Bradley, which is mad.
From then on, it was probably damage control. We were probably panicking because we haven't got a right back here. Like, why do we feel overrun? We feel overrun because our striker's not actually playing.
But that's my point. Liverpool needs to be at a level where it doesn't matter. That's fine, because there could be injuries, but your system and the trust in the system is we are still going to play that way. Because when you go and see City and they play the slow build-up, or Arsenal, they don't start to panic and just hoof the ball into the net. They regardless of whether we agree with it or not, they really believe, and everyone's on the same wavelength, and everyone believes this is how we're going to go and play. The same way when we had Klopp, everyone believed in this gegenpressing to the last minute. So everyone believed that even Trent would go and press their centre-back at times, knowing that he's left the right-back spot, knowing that, do you know what I mean, he's not defensively solid right now and we could get counter-attacks. But everyone believed in it. You need everyone on the same wavelength if you're going to play a certain way. And you need players that are going to play that way. And when
we
hasn't got a squad yet.
We don't have the players.
But then it goes back to then you have to look at the manager. And he's done a fantastic job. But that's where you need to be a bit of like okay, we might, and he's tried to do it, but we might have to adapt what I'm doing. But for me,
for the players,
me, ultimately, when you're chasing a game, the best method to do that is to do it in a controlled way. If you go for the game, you can go all out. It's like a boxer. You can try to go all out and swing, and you could catch someone, and we could have scored. The chances Nunes scores, we're not talking about this. But when you don't score, what other chances are you creating? You're now allowing the other team to counter on you. And Aston Villa could have easily won that game. And if Aston Villa win that game, then what? Is it we played really well, but it was unlucky? No. They would have deserved to win that game.
So the 80th minute, just listen to me on this one. So the 80th minute, we substituted McAllister. McAllister had 76 touches and a 98% possession. That's where the control left the game. The control left the pitch, because we then brought on Luis Diaz, who does what? Like, he's not a possession guy.
Taking out McAllister was the wrong move. Soboslai was the right.
That was the wrong move. McAllister swung the game.
Well, Soboslai.
But to Jerry's point, I'm in full agreement. I don't like the slow. I didn't think that it worked last year when Klopp tried to do it. I haven't thought that it's worked this year. I just think that
it's totally different.
Okay, but to me,
at all.
I don't see the profile of these players, because even when you look at the Villa game, look at all of the chances that we had. None of them were from slow build-up. Half of them were from our pressing in Villa's box, forcing turnovers. I mean, our first goal was literally a pass directly to Jota. Garcia kicked it to Jota in the face. He's like, here you go. Didn't even look. He just kicked it right back. Jota, boom, to Salah, open net goal.
There was a triangle. There was a triangle of Jones, McAllister, and Jota that penned him in. It was really good.
But I'm just saying that, in the games where we're creating flurries of chances, when you really deep it, they're quick. They're bang, bang. There's 3 passes, 4 passes. We don't do slow build-up to opportunity creation. Even against the big hitters. Look at the Leverkusen game where Luis Diaz had a hat trick. All of those plays are blitz. It's all blitzing. all of our opportunities come from blitzing, not from sustained possession. And even if it is sustained possession, when you really deep it, we had the ball for a while, we gave it up, then they gave it right back to us. Boom, we hit them, right? So, like, I do think that there's a lot of validity to the point that slow possession build-up game doesn't exactly suit us, even if we get over the line 2-0. Because then when you look at the goals, you realize, well, we didn't actually score from our possession. We scored when they gained a little bit of confidence because we gave away the ball, and we're just better at punishing you than you are at punishing us, right? So I also don't know how that would manifest. I don't even know how you would change. Like, how are you going to play that way against a Wolves? How are you going to play transition against the team that has no interest in taking possession
but
against
that's
you?
the kryptonite. That's where we go back to when we've been under Klopp and said, and it's always, we're not doing that at all anymore. But we used to just spam crosses into the box because at one point it got to a point where it's like, we don't know what to do. Just give it to Trent and see if Trent can create something. If Trent can't create something, he cuts it back and Henderson hooks it in first time, and we hope that someone makes a third man run into the box. This is where you need. You go back to it. It's just evident now why the signing that Slot wants to make. There's no other player. There's no left back we're linked with. There's no striker. There's nothing. It's the
flurry now.
Player day.
It's the midfielder type. Did anyone hear Slot today and doing that, answering them questions on YouTube today? I think it was on Sky or something like that. And they asked him what's his perfect football.
What type of players does he like?
Yeah, and he pretty much named it, and so he likes technical footballers that are quick, good with the ball, aggressive, runs into space. He likes them kind of players, and some of them players we've got in our team are not that. I will give this to Slot. Slot doesn't. This is not the brand of football Arne Slot wants to play.
Yeah,
he wants to play that slow possession build up like City do.
He wants fast wingers. He wants fast wingers.
If you look at pressing as well, like we did against Villa, we did against Villa, all top managers press. So the pressing part of the game is still going to be the same. But he wants total control of a football pitch in the opposition half. So you can take that risk, but you've got to keep the ball. At the moment in time, like I said earlier, when Trent gets into them areas and he's putting in nice passes and he's being creative, but then players lose the ball, we're overloaded on counter-attacks because the players are not good enough at the moment to keep the possession of the ball the way Slot wants, because their brain is just so used to the last few years of Klopp that they've got to go from one goal to the other as quick as they can. And it don't matter, like one touch cross, go. That's it. Span that cross, get in the box, run in, late runs in. That is just the way they're programmed. So when it don't go right, they just go to original factory settings and go back to what they know. So for Slot to do the job he's actually doing right now, got to give him a lot of credit for it. We'll only know the job Arne Slot does in the future when he starts to get his players into this team.
But
I think for us, that's why I genuinely believe we need to try Maka in that 10 role, because I feel like when we do punch the ball into that middle there, Maka's of our three midfielders that start, he's the only one that has that footballing IQ in that final third area to actually thread that ball or play those short 1-2 passes before we punch it into our forwards. Like, too often we play it into Sobo, and his first instinct isn't necessarily forward or to take a risk. So, which I feel like we're almost wasting. I'd rather him move back a bit, play the 8, just box to box running. And when we're punching the ball into the middle there, we need someone that has that technical ability to actually play.
Well, do you know what Makasa's got a problem? Makasa's got a problem though. Like, I know people again, opinions. Everyone's got an opinion. Do you know what I mean? But I don't think Makasa in the 10 works. No. The reason why it don't work is because currently in this system, if you've got a striker that is coming short for the ball, so when Nunes is on the pitch, it's a bit of a different story. But again, he's not target man. He's not trying to link up like that. He wants the ball in behind. But if you've got someone that's coming short to come and get the ball in Diaz or Gakpo or Jota, whoever you want to go and play there, you need and you've got Salah, who right now doesn't make runs in behind as much anymore. He also comes short to the ball. And then you've got Gakpo as well, another player that needs the ball short to feet as well, because he doesn't want it in behind. He wants to get the ball, drive at you, cut inside and shoot. You need someone that's making runs in behind. McAllister making runs in behind for 90 minutes. Listen, his tank's going to be at 30% in 20 minutes and he's going to need to come off. His best attributes, and I've realized and I just understood, it's being able to actually win the ball, but he's a safety net. He's a safety net, and that's what he is. He's the safety net. He's not the guy he's not in the mold of an Odegaard. He's not in the mold of a Maddison. He's not in the mold of that type of number 10. What he is someone that you can give the ball at any opportunity, and as Kmack said, 98% ball retention or whatever it was, 98% of his passes. That's what you need from McAllister, which is fine. What we unfortunately, as long as this forward issue's here, Szoboszlai has to play because he's the only one that can make the runs in behind, also defensively cover as well. Because he's an animal in that aspect.
I don't think it's that much of a personnel thing. Like, to me, genuinely, especially over the last 4 or 5 games, the way that teams have pressed us has changed. To go along to Jamie's point with how direct we like to be, the issue that I saw, especially against Everton, even against Villa, the way that we get pressed now, they don't press the ball holder. Like, Virgil can stand there for 5 minutes. They won't get tight to him. They press all of the options. And because Szoboszlai is so far forward, we're now down a man, right? So they're pressing with all 3 forwards plus 2 of their midfielders, plus all 3 of their midfielders, especially against Everton. It's pretty much just like a front 6 pressing us and then the back 4 behind, right? We're getting overloaded. And because we like to play this direct game, we can't find the direct pass because we're outnumbered. So we kick it back and we keep continuing to do so. I don't think McAllister needs to play in the 10 the whole game. I don't think Szoboszlai needs to play in there the whole game. I just think that these guys need to figure out how to play triangles in space, because that's one thing that I'm not seeing over the last few weeks. I'm not seeing the midfield building up progressively throughout. I'm just seeing Virgil getting the ball, or Trent getting the ball, or Robo getting the ball, and hoping that you just catch one person and you play a pass in behind, or you play something direct, or you play a diagonal. And sometimes it works. Like, some of Trent's diagonals were working against Aston Villa, but other times it doesn't, i.e. Everton. We were struggling to create opportunities because we couldn't get through in the midfield. So, like, I genuinely think it's more of just
what it is, right? Even if you go and look at like the best teams that build up from the back like that, it's pointless. If you've got players on the pitch, it's pointless trying to go 3 for 3 in midfield and being like, you've got a 3 in there, or we're gonna have a 3 in here, and we're gonna see what you can do. No. What we're gonna do though is we trust our players on the pitch, which probably Slot does because we've got good players. And it's like, what we're going to do is we're going to overload your back line. And now we've got the players that on paper, in theory, should be good enough to find the gaps in between. So even if you go and you have your 3 in front and we've got a 2 here, there are 2 passing lanes and we've got our wide areas where we can go and find players. Now, if you've got 2 players in possession that we can go and find players into, causes a problem. City used to do that all the time.
But we just don't have the personnel to do that, though. Is what I'm saying.
But that's my point. It goes back to Slot. It looks to me like Slot feels like he has the personnel to do that. Or it's one of his principles where he's like, no, we're not gonna go and get dragged into a battle where Szoboszlai drops in here, and then all of a sudden we're playing this short football, but we're losing the ball in certain areas. Can we be direct? And if we can get the ball from Szoboszlai straight into feet, because Virgil van Dijk can play the pass in, and it goes on the ground, splits the midfield and goes straight into Szoboszlai, he can set it back to a Jota who then counter-attacks and plays it out to Salah, and Salah scores.
We don't do that. We don't
exactly.
Do that.
That's pardon?
We don't do that though. That's the issue.
But that it goes back to my point. Is there's so many opportunities when you look at it and you're like, play the pass.
But we did at the start of the season.
And it goes back to me when you look at Gravenberch. He's not the best passer. He's decent, but he's not the best passer. But if you have a Rodri in there, if you've got even just people that are decent at it at Arsenal, Partey in there, guess what? Partey gets it and goes boop and just punches it in. And you need players that can do that on a consistent basis if they're playing in that deep role. That's why Gravenberch plays there ahead of Endo, because who's better than that and who's got a bit more to their game is Gravenberch, because he can probably play that pass. He's more likely to play that pass, but you can also drop the shoulder and get into that space as well and use his legs to get there. And for me, that's the biggest problem, because these are Slot's principles. So as long as teams sit back, he needs to figure out a way, or they need to work on combinations and moving left to right and being a bit more fluid, because we're just gonna have the same problem. We're gonna have the same problem no matter who plays.
Look, the problem I've noticed recently is we're not being able to get Gravenberch on the ball. Like, He's not being able to get on the ball. He's not being able to be the second phase of play, which he used to be. How many times did you see all through the season where a ball had come through from Kanate or from Virgil that would split their attack, and then he would turn their midfield and he would be at their defence. And everyone would be running forward.
They have a box around Grabby now. They have a box around him. They know that like teams are.
And they're like, can you do what they're saying is go on, be the Busquets and get that ball when there's two players in front of you and spray the right pass, drop the shoulder. But you're not even moving left to right. You just drop the shoulder like this, but you're in the same spot and you play the pass. You need to be elite at doing it. You need to be elite
and the problem that the solution to that, for what I can see, is you swap McAllister and Gravenberch round, because McAllister's the one who seems to be getting the control and the possession, so he's got space. So you swap them round because McAllister can be that Busquets.
The problem is with him,
and release the ball quickly.
The problem is with him. We saw it last season, and it goes back to the thing: he hasn't got legs. So when Liverpool are playing like that, and you get caught in transition, Gravenberch's got the legs to get back. So if McAllister's in that situation, if you don't win the first challenge, it's over. If you don't read it perfectly and win that first tackle, it's over. Hence why you have McAllister in between role. If he misses it, who's there? Gravenberch has got the time and the legs and the energy to get round and cover.
What I'm talking about the phase of play. So Gravenberch is on the left-hand side and McAllister's on the right-hand side at the start of the phase of play. Once the ball's gone up to the attack and it's coming back at us, they can rotate. They're both intelligent. They're both pivots.
But let's say McAllister gives the ball to Grav, right? Grav goes and tries to play the pass, but he gets intercepted or he loses the ball. They're straight on McAllister now. McAllister has to win that challenge. He
played the defensive midfielder last season. He was pretty good.
And it wasn't great. And it wasn't great. And we spoke about how often we were open.
No, but he was a singular. Yeah,
but there's often in the games, Gravenberch is singular by himself. He's singular. He's having to go and cover, and then also cover the right hand side because you've got a right back that goes forward. And that's what McAllister won't be able to go and do that. McAllister won't be able to go mark the middle, but then also the ball goes out wide to Rashford and catch Rashford up and stop him playing the cross. He's not going to get there. And you've just got a body running around. Otherwise, Endo would be playing there because Endo's the defensive mid. But he hasn't got the legs, and you need the legs in there if you're going to play this way. Do you know what I mean? In their half.
Gravenberch doesn't need a rest. Like, he's had rests. Like, he's been rested.
I don't think Gravenberch is tired. It's just
he's not tired.
Teams are defending him differently.
He's just not getting enough touches on the ball now.
But it's a reason. It's by design. It's not by
it's by design.
But he is getting touches. But the thing is, he is getting touches. But he's getting touches and being told to pass backwards.
Statistically, though, he's getting a lot less.
Yeah, that's my point. Yeah,
the last 3-4 games, they have changed the way it's just a box. As you said, the minute he touches it, there's 4 guys around him. Like he's not of that mold to turn, pass, punch it through the lines. Like so, he's essentially just getting the ball, passing it back to Verge, passing it back to Ibu, and then we don't have any forward progression from our midfield at all.
I guarantee. Gravenberch has a better game against Man City than he's had in the last few weeks because Man City won't play like that.
And they don't have the legs.
Because Man City haven't got the legs like Villa have got or like Wolves had at that time in their midfield, and they go play a different kind of way. I bet Gravenberch looks fantastic against Man City. Gravenberch, no one's sitting there. I mean, I think people in the chat are sometimes getting things wrong. We all rate Gravenberch highly. He's a quality player.
Yeah.
But there's reasons he's not a number 10 or a number 8. And them reasons have been made clear this season. He is a sitting midfielder who's a ball runner, who when he gets the ball and runs into space, he's extremely good at it. He's a ball carrier. He's a connector. He connects the things. McAllister's your controller. And with McAllister as well, I know some people in the chat were saying about Jerry there. Jerry didn't mean that McAllister can't play 10. What he's saying is if you put McAllister in 10 for Liverpool right now, your number 9 is literally going to be on his toes with no space. And we've got no wide players that run in behind. So McAllister can't play his passing like he would. McAllister can play his better passing a little bit deeper because he's got more room and there's more grass in front of him. If you had a striker who's high up, who stayed on the shoulder and liked to play behind, you had a really quick winger who just wanted to attack. You know, if you attack the fullback and get him behind it constantly, it spread the pitch, and McAllister could do his thing in that number 10 role. But right now, Liverpool have a number 9 who drops deep and is in that 10 area, and number 9 covers the 10 area. That's why Szoboszlai is always in front of our number 9.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think that the whole passing back is entirely instruction based. Like, I think some of it is. I think some of the times when we're trying to slow the game down is, but I think, especially in the last few weeks, we just don't have options in midfield. Like, if you're not watching the ball and you're looking at everyone else, there's either way too much space in between who has the ball and who are the forward options, or all of that space is being covered and the player does not have an option. So he has to go back. So people who are bitching about, like, I'm tired of U ball, I'm tired of possession, I'm tired of slow play, it's like, I don't think it's instructionally based. I just think that the team is not figuring it out in certain spells of the game.
Why don't you think the likes of McAllister, Gravenberch, all the players on the pitch, you got Virgil van Dijk on the pitch, why do you think they're unable to go and figure it out then? Because if I play, it's very simple. If I see a player following me, if I'm Gravenberch, I move into a space and see if he follows me. If he follows me, there's space for someone else. That's really simple.
To me, like, from what I'm seeing right now,
it's not instruction.
From what I'm seeing right now, again, this is just in spells of the game. Like, I think that there are spells in the game where it does work, and, like, we're able to catch them out because no one can be perfect for 90 minutes. But, you know, let's take the last 25 minutes as an example against Villa, or let's take, you know, the second half against Everton. Sometimes it's just we're either moving the ball too slow, or the people who are off the ball are moving too slow. Maybe it's that Szoboszlai is too far up the pitch. There's too much space in between McAllister and Szoboszlai, or in between Gravenberch and Szoboszlai. Maybe it's that Robertson or Trent are just not willing to invert and vacate their space and go forward and provide an extra option. To me, a lot of the times there's just too much space in between who needs to get the ball and who has the ball. And that comes down to being more.
And you know who needs to figure that out? The same guy that you and everyone on the bottom row, and I think Jerry as well at the start of the season, were like, he's tactically superior to Klopp. Now he needs to figure it out, because now we want to see your plan B. Now I want to see, okay, so we all know, first of all, I completely agree with anyone who says that fatigue is a cop-out. I agree. I think fatigue is a cop-out because the guy rested against Plymouth, okay? He didn't even play in that game. He's played 3 games in a row. What fucking fatigue? Is 22, you guys. It's fucking February. There is no such thing as fatigue right now for Gravenberch. Let's just stop it, okay? The issue is, I saw someone in the chat as well, when JJ was breaking it down, going like, oh, no, JJ, he's an 8. This is our midfield 3, essentially. A left winger and 2 8s. And we're trying to create a midfield 3 out of it. This is reality. Because Szoboszlai is a winger. So he's a winger. He's playing in the 10. You get me? And we got, yeah, he's not a DM. He's not a DM. He's not a 10. He's like you get me? Or you want to say he's an 8, essentially. So we've got 3 8s. So we don't have like a Wataru Endo Fabinho type, and we don't have like a Coutinho type. You know, that's not what we have right now. You get me? So we have to find a way around it. I don't think it's fatigue. I think genuinely watching Liverpool for the last 3 games, and I've mentioned this everywhere I went, and I'll say this again. Anyone who watched Sarri ball 4 or 5 years ago, as soon as they stopped Jorginho, they stopped the whole team. And I agree with Jamie again on the Manchester City game. I actually think that Man City will be probably an easier game for us than Newcastle. Why? Because Manchester City don't have legs or athleticism to press Gravenberch. Manchester City don't have the Bernardo of 3 years ago. They don't have the KDB of 3 years ago. If they did, we'd be in trouble. But they don't have the legs right now. And it's on Slot to figure out a way and a style to fix it. And as a matter of fact, I'll be honest with you, I think he actually came up with a solution on Wednesday. Yeah, Curtis Jones. Inverted winger into the midfield, and guess what? It worked.
It worked.
I am not the biggest fan of Curtis Jones. Everyone on the chat knows this, but I feel like people blamed him for the Villa game for absolutely no reason. There was literally 0 reasons to blame Curtis Jones in that game. He was one of our better players. By far one of our better players. He created the chance for Szoboszlai. He kept the ball. He held on to the ball. We can't say in one breath, guys, what happened to our control and keeping the ball, and then be mad at a player who keeps the ball. Guess what? If the others kept the ball a bit better, the 2 goals don't happen to begin with. So we need someone to keep the ball a bit more. So I think he actually found out the solution. And unfortunately, I do have to agree with Mike. I do think this game against Aston Villa, it does come down to the forward line. I'm sorry. There is no need to scapegoat any specific individual. Like sit up here and go like, oh, Robertson should have done this in this moment. Oh, Trent should have done this in this moment. Van Dijk should have blah blah blah. Listen,
Score.
the midfield in the last 3 games hasn't been on its best, but with the Curtis Jones inverting thing against Aston Villa, we dominated. We created the more dangerous chances. There's a graphic that came up, I think, in the second half. We had 17 attempts and they had 3. So how the fuck am I supposed to be mad at the manager? Like, how?
Can I
So
also mention
if
something else?
Jota scores one of his 4 chances, like imagine we're doing this stream on a Tuesday night, and I tell you guys, Jota's gonna get 4 goal scoring opportunities. The person on the panel who probably believes least in Jota will say 1 out of 4. The people who believe regularly in Jota will say 2 out of 4. Like, you get me? The guy goes 0 from 4. Darwin, the less said about him, the better. The more I watch that miss, the more I go like, this is actually way horrible than I thought. And then the Emi Martinez, you know him running against Emiliano Martinez. Him running against Emiliano Martinez literally summarizes him as a footballer. And the biggest issue with him, which people don't mention, it's not misses, it's no brain, no IQ. If he doesn't know how to react to specific situations. Darwin Núñez would have been the winner of that moment had he gotten Martinez sent off, had he scored, had he passed to Salah, had he passed to Jones. He had 4 scenarios where he would have been, Darwin, you did the right thing. He chose the one scenario, which is him doing the wrong thing, which is straight at Martinez.
No, but you know all he's got to do. Is like like the pass and stuff. You got to be a top quality player to play that first time in the pass. Just flick it over.
Just dink it over Emi, and then you get fouled, and it's a red card. It's a free kick and a red card.
With his hands because he gets sent off.
The same thing to who was the fullback, Matson, whoever that left back was when we scored.
Dean, Dean, he did it to Dean.
When you cut inside and you flick it over, like it's not.
Yeah, Rashford did it. Rashford did it to Ali in that game. Ali came out and
Rashford did a great example. Rashford did the same thing to Alisson.
Except Alisson, but hold on, Alisson a little bit different. But yes, I agree because Alisson was on an angle, and Rashford dinked it by him. He didn't dink it over him. He literally just
doesn't matter. The ball ended up over.
Agreed. And Rashford should have finished.
You really stop him mid-flow to say dink it over him, not above him. Come on, Mike.
Yeah, bro, listen, two entirely. But like these are the margins that matter when talking. Like, bro, listen. The one thing that I have to give him is that like. He's going full speed, which is the only reason why I'm saying just kick it.
Rashford was going full speed.
Okay. But you're not understanding what I'm saying. He's going full speed, right? So by going full speed, the easier thing to do in that situation, in my mind, with 2 players to his right, is to just kick the ball to your right. There are 2 players.
Yeah, but
that's harder.
What happens? We know Núñez. What happens? He kicks it to his right, and it goes off the pitch, or it's over hit, and Salah doesn't get it.
It's literally harder to do.
He just needs to go. He just needs to go and retain possession. So whether it's flicker over him, whether it's as he gets there, he darts right, and do you know what I mean? And Martinez catches him. Whether he gets there and turns his body, and Martinez, he just has to do better there. Yeah. And ultimately, to be fair, it's our fault, guys. Do we remember? I think it was 2 years ago when Darwin Núñez went on international break and he was playing for Uruguay, and it was a training clip of him when he's running down the wing, he cuts in, there's no pressure, and it goes out for a throw-in. Why are we surprised? When we spoke about it then, it's that people have ignored that. And he's been like this.
Yeah. We're also ignoring Jota. Just saying, like we only we spent like 2 seconds on the.
No one's ignoring Jota. It's just he has
Don, we're not even talking here. Other people are.
Are people ignoring Jota? Seriously?
No, but do you know where it is though?
You can't ignore Jota in that.
No, but
game.
The Jota one.
No one's ignoring Jota.
Can't ignore Jota.
Jota going and not scoring his goals or having a shot that just goes off. I've seen Salah, I've seen Mane do that. It's fine. Do you know what the difference is? If Jota's in that situation, right, and that ball, he's scoring. Guess what?
But Jota doesn't
Someone
get into that
that's not even as good
situation.
as a finisher. If Bobby Firmino's in that situation, guess what he's doing? No look,
You know,
goal. He's
But,
not even
but
looking
Jerry,
at
the
it.
difference is that neither of those players are getting into that situation because neither of those players are closing
Right,
down that
but-
player and
Yeah,
pressing.
but they do. They
No,
do.
what the Soboslai pass?
The Soboslai
Not the
pass?
first
No,
thing.
no.
I'm
Not
talking about the
the
Soboslai
Soboslai
pass.
was.
I'm talking about the Soboslai pass. The Soboslai pass. You
That's
could
a
have put
Bobby
anyone
Nola.
there.
Yeah,
It's just-
that
it's
one,
Bobby
yeah.
Nola. And
That
the
one,
worst
yeah.
thing
I'm talking
it
about the
is
Emmy
I
one.
know for a fact, and I've seen it on training.
It's
They do this
attacking.
every single day. Every single day they do back post finishing where he makes a run and there's a flipping mannequin and you just got to go and finish first time. You just got to side foot it first time.
Yeah.
And he can't do the thing that he does every single day.
It's literally harder to miss that shot. Like anyone that's actually played, it's literally harder to miss that shot
Fact.
than to score that
It's a
shot.
higher XG than a
And I
penalty.
just
It's
He
on a carpet,
smashed
you know.
it.
There's
Yeah.
no
He
bubble.
smashed
You see the
it.
Salah one. The Salah,
Smashed
the
it.
goal that Salah scores as Jota plays it.
Harder.
The ball's wobbling on the
That was
ground.
harder.
harder.
There was a man.
It's harder.
Tyrone Mings was like made
But-
himself huge.
But forget the man. The ball's bobbling, so
It's
you're
bobbling.
having to catch it on the bobble. That pass from Soboslai is on a carpet. It's as if I rolled it to my
Well,
two-year-old.
Jerry Slot said it himself. It was the perfect pass.
Oh,
It was a perfect
Yeah,
pass.
he
I mean, I do wish that
It actually
Soboslai had
was a
just shot it,
perfect
but
pass.
I don't know why Soboslai trusted him.
All we had to do was
he's
open up his
Soboslai's
body.
a
It's
coward, but
the
he
thing is-
plays a good pass though.
The thing is, though, it's a tapping. It's literally a tapping. Watch what Darwin did. He put his head down, closed his eyes, and smashed it.
Hopefully.
Well,
Right.
listen, I just
Close.
like I don't know if you guys saw this, but someone took that like bird's eye view
Did he close
lens
his eyes?
and they did a
The one
They
from
did a-
Instagram, I saw that. It makes it worse.
no. So there's a bird's eye view, right? And it's the moment that Soboslai is about to pass it, and Virgil's standing there, and he's got both of his arms up in the air, and he looks happy, right? And then it's the second that the ball ends up at Nunez's foot, and Virgil has his hands on his head like this. It's like it's fucking comedy. It's
Because he
comedy.
knows the technique. Because he knows he's got.
It's bad. It's the
If
less
Cody-
about it,
if Cody
honestly, the
Gak-
less
if
the
Cody
less about
Gakpo-
it, the better. Because I think
I would rather play Endo at the 9. I'm not even
If
kidding. I'd
Cody
rather play
Gakpo
Endo.
played, if
But
Cody
we
Gakpo,
know Darwin's garbage, right? We know
Yeah.
we know he can't play, and I think that play though, like Husam, the way you were saying that the play where he kicked it into Emi Martinez is like a microcosm of who he is as a player. I think that game kind of summed up our entire attack in general, like all of the issues with our attack. Because as much as Zobel, I don't want to put blame on him for the pass, and I don't think you can because the pass is perfect. Like
exactly.
as much as we want to say he should shoot, the fact that he played that's not an easy pass because the Sassy's coming at the same pace. He had to play it in front of him, so it landed right at Darwin's feet. I have to put my hands up and say, you know what?
Played it with his left foot. He played it with his weak foot.
It wasn't a bobbing pass or anything
It
either.
was literally a perfect
It
pass.
was
So
like a Salah pass. It was like a
at the
Salah
same
pass.
time, it does show the issue that we have with having Sobel in that position. Because as great as the pass was, number one, it wasn't an easy pass. It wasn't like the instinctive, okay, he's wide open. The way Jota's was to Salah, that's instinctive.
I actually think it was more difficult to pass in that situation than it
was.
is to shoot. To be
I
fair,
think so
like
too.
I'm gonna be honest with you, like him making that pass is a lot more difficult than even him shooting. I think he
I
took a
wanted him to
massive
fucking
risk.
shoot.
The only
I
Yeah,
wanted him
he
to
took a
shoot.
massive risk with that pass. I think he just trusted his number 9. He shouldn't have. We all agree now.
Yeah, no,
I wouldn't
player.
trust.
I don't think it's that.
Can I just say one thing? There's only
that
one
was-
guy from the forward line who I've changed
Salah.
my opinion on
genuine.
royally this season, and that's Cody Gakpo. I think Gakpo would have scored against Wolves, and I think Gakpo would have scored against Aston Villa because
Exactly.
Gakpo has shown the ability to come up clutch. I think Gakpo scores both the Emmy moment, and he scores the tapping, and he scores the Jota chance in the first half. I think easy 3 goals right there for Cody Gakpo. Wolves, Jota takes the shot instead of diving. 3-1, 3-0, sorry, at the time, game set and match, it's game over. So, I like Jota is someone, like Cody is someone I've learned over this last like 3 games to just absolutely miss. Let me just grab these super chats before we move on to Manchester City because we do have to preview Man City as well. You guys are like an hour and 10 minutes into this. Big up to everyone locked in. Apologies, I haven't spoken as much. I'm just a bit sick, you guys. I apologize. Big up to everyone locked in. Please do hit the like button. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're yet to do so. Every single one of you guys right now, please hit the like button. Please subscribe. And all these guys' channels in the description as well. Please go give them a subscribe. So, let's just do these super chats. First off, Mina says, since Zubimendi is an enemy, would you want United to win? No, I don't, Mina. Okay, Zubimendi being a temporary enemy or whatever it is doesn't mean that that's an enemy for life, Man United. If Mike you later is not worried, I'm not worried.
I'm
The
not
chat do
worried.
come up with some good names for you. I can't even lie.
I'm
They
not.
come up
Why
with
would I
some
be
good-
worried, bro? We have an 8-point lead. Arsenal have a game in hand, but it's still 8 points. Like, I wouldn't want to be anyone else in this league right now.
This will be the fucking funniest weekend of my life if West Ham just beat Arsenal and we beat City. I'm just gonna drag my nuts across everyone, I'll be honest with you. Big up to Ed who says, Mike, just say. So I say the crazy thing for once, Jamie, and all of a sudden you're pulling faces. I'm the one who says the crazy shit this
I
time.
thought you said
Yeah.
nuts.
Yeah,
No, this-
Mike, just say you hate Trent.
I'm proud of it, Sam. I'm just
Yes.
This
See?
this
I
super
know.
chat's a problem. I have a
Yeah, can I read
serious
it
problem
first?
with this.
Mike, just say you hate Trent and want him out our club. This is ridiculous. He's one of our best creators.
Now, see, like, you're just being disingenuous because you're not listening to what I'm saying. I didn't say that Trent had a bad game. I'm saying that taking him off would have gone perfectly to plan if our shitty number 9 didn't miss a wide open fucking net. And no one would be sitting here saying, well, the substitutions came at the wrong time, because we would have won 4-2. And y'all will be sitting here with fucking rainbows and sunshines and lollipops up 10 points. And also, I'm finding it a little bit difficult to back someone who's got 1 foot in fucking Spain. So,
Mike.
give and take here. Give and
Mike,
take.
you said,
Fine.
Mike, haven't you been back in Darwin for a while, though?
I did
has.
back Darwin at the beginning. I backed Darwin at the beginning, and then I realized, oh my god, I've been drinking LSD all this time. I need to go back to regular water. And then once I went back to regular water, I was able to rinse all of that LSD out of my system.
I have heard that LA water is not good for your health. So.
Yeah. So I've seen the light. Also, I sold some options on Bradley. I've got some long plays on Trent, but he is going to Spain, so those do have a sell-off date. So
I hear that.
It's, Jamie, I'll make your life
Arsenal
easier.
in the end.
The only 2 remaining Nunes fans on the platform, I don't forget Twitter and stuff, on the platform are Drifty and Ends right now. Those are the 2 left.
You're not gonna bring Drifty over. I'm sorry.
No, unless I cooked Drifty on Coppish already. I
You're
don't need to
not gonna
cook him
bring him
again.
over. I know you tried.
Big up, Drifty. I gave the
I
best
know you tried.
7-minute objective, non-insulting monologue to Nunez, I think, in history of a Nunez debate. We hate. Wow, James.
What?
James,
No,
you want me
no.
to sing an Everton song? I know you're an Everton fan. Thank you for sending in the super chat. Thank you for supporting the channel. You get me dropping in the $10 piece.
Wow.
But you want me to sing an Everton song, James? Hell will freeze before I sing an Everton song.
Wow.
God.
Wow.
I'll tell you what. If Everton beat Arsenal, I'll sing an Everton song in the Premier League.
just
you
not
have
that one. Just not that one.
Just not that
Well,
one, but I'll sing an
I
Everton
will
song.
sing it, but what I don't understand about this is why they say and Rangers too, because Celtic is
Oh
the
no,
that-
Rangers is you don't go.
Yeah, that's it.
Uh,
That's a
It's
big one.
religion slash
Political.
Oh,
religion.
okay.
political.
I got you.
Rangers are
Look.
the Tories, basically.
Yeah, no. It's
Look.
like Celtic and Rangers.
Everton come out to Everton come out to Z cars, and Liverpool come out to you never walk alone.
Yeah, they do come out to Z cars. That's
Yeah,
funny.
there's a difference. In, man.
I got you.
Liverpool and Everton agree on this. It's usually fuck Rangers. It's a Scouse thing. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
Slot
that
was
silly
happy with the
whistle.
squad. That, if you guys remember when Gerrard first started with the Rangers, he saw a picture of the Queen. He started fucking laughing in the dressing room like he just couldn't. You guys see Gerrard with the picture of the Queen? His
Yeah.
face expression is just absolutely wait. Let me just actually just show you guys. Literally, like one of the top searches is I just wrote Gerrard Rangers. The second most searched one is dressing room Queen. First thing is just dressing room Queen. I wish I could find it, I just can't find it, man. But he looks at the picture of the Queen and just smirks at the camera, Hey, yeah, it's a Scouts thing, James. Don't worry. I know. Slot was happy with the squad in January, knowing that we have injury-prone players. He also loaned out Dan's, complicit, in my opinion, if we screw this up. Punjabi Firmino. First of all, thank you for the super chat. You get me? Second of all, I want to say something. Look, I will defend Slot here. Slot is forced to defend the decisions. I don't think if it were up to Slot, he would have bought no one. Just look at his decisions. He clearly don't trust Endo. He clearly don't trust Tsimikas even as much as we first thought, and he doesn't trust Harvey Elliott either. So I genuinely believe if it were up to him, we would have signed someone in January. Unfortunately, I don't think it is up to him, my brother. And I'll be completely honest with you. So I'm just, I'm genuinely just
And Dance is
being
injured, by the way. Dance is
Yeah,
injured.
Didn't even
and
know
what-
we loaned him.
And
I
the
didn't
thing is,
even know
though,
that.
He's injured.
literally, what is Slot going to do in his first season? You know, I mean, he ain't going to throw his toys out of pram in his first
Do you
season.
want what I don't understand is do you want Arnie Slot to come out and say all these players blow dick? Like these guys all fucking suck? Like, no, I don't. I don't ever want to hear him
okay.
actually
Someone
say-
else said a crazy statement other than me now. So rapidly moving on. He got me. That
Seriously,
was a
what
wild
do you-
statement. He
what do
went
you
there.
want him to say?
He said the D word, then blow before it, and he kept a straight face. Down is in the chat for my guy James for dropping in the 20 piece. That's not an Ayo. That's a haram right there. You get me? That's a you know, that's a mad one still. That's a mad one.
Brother, what's that? What's that, brother?
I was about to
Listen,
say,
I'm not-
Gonzo, that's a no diddy.
If you want to be about that pause life, you can be about that pause life. It is what it is.
No, we don't pause around here. You know, we don't. Big up to my guy James says non-shy talking chat. Moyes put a box around Gravenberch with Gay, Garner, Decore, and the wide midfielder, whichever one it was. I think this isolating Gravenberch and build up. You guys need to figure that out. I'm glad you say this as someone who's a rival and is not emotionally attached. I'm actually happy that no one on the panel has really brought up fatigue as the key issue, but some of you have mentioned it as an issue, which I don't have a problem with. Obviously, rotation will help and stuff like this. I do agree that I think Slot need to trust Endo more. I have no problem with that, but I completely agree with the super chat. We just cannot allow Gravenberch to just be boxed in by 3 players and not give him a solution. And this is where Slot has to figure out an out. Whether it's having a player behind him and then play a longer diagonal, whether it's an extra midfielder, which is what we did against Aston Villa. I don't mind running the same exact 11 again, by the way. I literally have zero problems with it.
Do you know what it
It
is? Do you know
started
what it is?
inverting in the second half, actually. That's what
Yeah.
started allowing us
Yeah.
to
We kept control.
I think instead of working it out for Gravenberch, he's happy for that to happen, because if you put Curtis Jones into that situation like he's a tucked in midfielder there, then that gives us the extra body as well, and they're also concentrating on Gravenberch, which gives you that opportunity. So I don't
The only problem that creates is the onus now to score is on Salah and Jota and no one else. There is no help.
That's why
We are Mo Salah FC.
Is Cody back for the
We are.
weekend?
No, I don't think so.
You know, I saw a graphic today where it's like Darwin Núñez combined Premier League GA with all his appearances, and Diaz combined GA with all his appearances.
Do you know Chris Wood has outscored him for 2 years in a row now?
Yeah, but that's not a shock. That's
We were the
generally
one with
not.
Chris Wood.
I agree. I think we're the one with Jean-Philippe Mateta. Big up to you, James. Big up Jean-Philippe Mateta. Big up KG. You get me, giving me a shout out on DR Sports. Cody playing pivotal to us or winning on Sunday, in my opinion. I disagree. I genuinely, and I'll tell you why now in a second. I'm going to tell you why in a second, actually. Let me hold that thought. Red line at Teranga. Question for Kmack here. Ask Kmack, why is he scared of PSG in 2025?
Because PSG are absolutely on fire right now. Like they're the team I didn't want. Like with really pacey wingers against Robbo and Trent. It's not.
I do think Dembele against Robertson will definitely be a
ideal.
matchup from hell. I can't even lie to you. However, I will say I think PSG were a lot more worried drawing us than we should be drawing them, and I do think we will.
Yeah, they will be. Yeah, they will be.
Yeah. So yeah, look, 700 people in the building. Big up to you, James. Big up Redline Teranga. Big up to Ed. Big up to Punjabi Firmino, Mina, and Fonzie for the super chats. Big up everyone who's shown us love. Guys, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Mods as well. I see you guys keep pushing, so please do push it. I'll say this. The reason why I said what I said, Redline Teranga, is Jamie's point. I actually think on paper now, you know, if I'm doing the on paper thing and I'm putting all momentum and all non-footballing elements to the side, Manchester City should be an easier game than Newcastle. And that's me being genuinely objective. And the reason why I say that is they just don't have the legs. They just don't have the athleticism. So even if they wanted to box in Gravenberch, I don't think they can. That's my honest opinion.
I agree.
I think the problem you've got with City, though, is personally, look, if they're off it, if their passing's off it, and they ain't got athleticism, it's curtains. But if they're on it with Marmoush and Haaland, and the passing's crisp and Gvardiol's on it, I think it causes Liverpool problems. Because if Liverpool are struggling to score goals the way you did against Aston Villa, you know, if you got Haaland on those chances, you know we're scoring 3 goals. If you have Marmoush on that chance, they're scoring 3 goals, especially with the form he's in. And that's what you've got to be wary of. And I think City are going to look at this like a cup final for them. They're out of the Champions League. It's just bragging rights. And Liverpool always
determined. Honestly, I don't know if
missing.
Because I thought they would versus Arsenal.
Missing Akanji and John Stones.
And they didn't. They just didn't, right? Like Arsenal came out. Everyone thought that was going to be the game that City's going to be up for it. Stay humble derby and just.
But do you know what it was? Do you know what it was though? The passing was off. This is where I go back to my point. City's passing in that game was shocking. It's shocking. As in every time they went and tried to play, it got intercepted. It got countered. So if City are like that, then yeah, you're gonna have problems. If City's passing's on it,
yeah, fair.
I think that just causes problems.
I hear that. I think I agree with Husam in terms of. I think it will be easier to play through. Again, it does depend on what midfield they play. I think Nico Gonzalez does help them a lot in there in terms of the legs and the pressing, and he can play in that similar Rodri, Zubamendi type way where he does split the lines for them. And if we're leaving gaps in our middle the way we were against Aston Villa and basically all of our last 3 or 4 games, then I agree with you. If the passing's on, then we're in trouble. I think the one thing with City is that's the one team where if Haaland actually plays, I'm a little bit more confident. Just because I feel like when they funnel their play through him, we have the best center backs to go up against him. Like we pretty much, for the most part, neutralize Haaland pretty much every time we play him. He just can't get the better of like his play style just plays right into VVD and Konate's hands.
He might not be playing though.
Yeah, I'm actually hoping he does play. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite me in the ass saying that, but I am hoping he does play.
I don't think he will. I think he's going to go full pace.
But
Famous last words. That famous last words.
He's coming off of a no contact knee injury that he picked up against Newcastle. I don't think he's going to play.
He starts. I don't think he starts.
I don't think he's going to play either.
Is it Gonzalez said in the midfielder, isn't it?
Pardon?
Yeah, he's also just been injured as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think he plays. I think he plays, and I think they play Kovacic with him and Foden or Bernardo Silva in their midfield. I just don't. They've got Akanji out and they've got Stones out. Akanji's going to be a big miss for him. Stones is going to be a big miss for him because Stones is good at bringing the ball out from the defence. You know, and Akanji's good at doing it as well. So the ball players from the back. I think they're going to go with pace up top. I think they're going to go Foden, Mamouche, and what's his name? Savinho up front. That'd be their front 3. I think that'd be their front 3.
I think as well. I think if they play Rico Lewis, he's really susceptible to being caught out because he comes out into midfield a lot and the ball gets put behind him, and also. Garvidal's not a great defender. They get done on the left-hand side a lot.
He is. He's just a centre-back playing at left-back in that wide area.
Exactly.
I mean, I disagree with you, Jerry. I don't even think he's a good defender. I think he's their Trent. All his best, genuinely, if I'm watching him, all his best attributes is going forward. Yeah. Gvardiol attacking us is a lot more like scary for us than Gvardiol defending. I'm not worried about
when you saw Gvardiol, when we wanted Gvardiol, was it because of his attacking strengths or the fact that we saw him as a centre back?
But that's different. Like playing Gvardiol on a high line next to Virgil van Dijk, I think would have been like a different experience to playing him left back. If I'm talking about just purely like from a rival watching Gvardiol, when he's going forward, he actually looks amazing. Linking up play with the winger, the passes, even sometimes the position he gets in, it's almost like a striker, which I think is very dangerous. But defensively, he does always like have a bad moment in him at least. And I think that's something we're going to take advantage of. I think it was SR earlier on who said like Mo is gonna get a goal. We just need to defend as well. I agree with this. And you know, just on the Rico Lewis point as well, who actually has been as well a liability this whole year. Let me just say this: there is a Champions League fixture. Champions League final in Paris. Okay? We sat there for 2 weeks and in our preview said Diaz should cook Danny Carvajal because Carvajal was having one of his worst seasons. Luis Diaz is the reason why Danny Carvajal has been considered the best right back in the world for the last 2.5 years. Because that man did not dribble past him once. He didn't. And as silly and as stupid and as crazy as this sounds, if we're going to play someone down the left-hand side that's not Cody Gakpo, I wouldn't mind giving Chiesa a go. Because I know
No.
he's going to put his
Okay, listen.
nuts on the table and he's going to get past the guy. That's
I
all
don't
I'm
want to
saying.
go that far.
he's not. Chiesa
I don't want to
can't
go
run.
that far. Yeah.
Chiesa
Listen,
cannot
I
run.
think that the keys to this game
Chiesa is
very,
a way better dribbler than we give him credit for, honestly.
okay.
He's garbage.
Regardless of what Chiesa is doing, yes, he was a fantastic dribbler in the Serie A last season, but he hasn't been fit this year, so I'm not giving him, the benefit of the doubt there. The keys to this game are simple. Savio is an absolute demon, and if he starts cooking Robbo, we're gonna have problems.
Mike, you do know Robbo
Giving him that
kept him,
title
you do know Robbo kept him completely quiet in that 2-0 win this season.
100%, but that was at
Let's hope he
Anfield,
does
and
that again.
and that was at a different time. But regardless, the main
Robbo's
point
been good recently. He's fine.
the main point to me in this game
Jake
that was
Simmons,
more like
Jamie.
controlled.
but I like our back four versus their front three is not at the front of my scope. It's not, because if we win the midfield battle,
Yes,
they're not going to do shit.
Yeah.
agreed.
So-
we win
so-
the
so
midfield
to
battle, we
me-
win the game. I agree.
To me, like the most important thing about this game, score first, score early. Look at like I'm just telling you, the mentality of this City team is completely different. And I don't know if you guys watched the full 90 minutes against Real Madrid, but a lot of their success came from
Right.
direct play, and that's how we like to do. We like to play long balls, direct in behind. That's where you create mistakes by City. You score first, you score early, this team will slowly start to dip. It's not the same mentality as years prior. Also, not to mention, the only thing that this team has left to fight for is the FA Cup. They're coming off of getting embarrassed in a tie against Real Madrid. Lock the midfield, outdo their legs, don't let them press you, bypass them, keep possession of the ball, score first, score early, and the goals will keep coming in a flurry. That's it. Like, to me, the midfield is the most essential part of this game, because it will take pressure off the back line and it will give opportunities to the front line. And if this midfield cannot win the duel against a broken and battered Gundogan, a non-existent Kevin De Bruyne, the worst form Phil Foden I've ever seen, a fucking invisible Bernardo Silva, like the list goes on and on. Not to mention the majority of these players are getting shipped off in the summer. Midfield has to do its job. Gravenberch, McAllister, and Szoboszlai, or if you play Curtis Jones, I don't care. If they control this game, we will beat this team 3-0. Because maybe they hit us on the counter one time, maybe. But that defense is shaky. The midfield is ass. And if you're controlling midfield, you're not conceding opportunities.
Me personally, I don't think it's that simple. And I think a lot of the analysis for this game actually it goes beyond football. I think in football, there's certain games and there's certain venues where it's like, I believe in heritage in football. And for us, the Etihad is just one of those places where we don't generally play well. So, and you can, the reverse is the case for City when they come to Anfield. Because I'm sure you all remember, was it even last year, to be fair, but 2 years ago when we were in our crisis, City was running riot. Everyone's like, oh, they're going to come and slap us up at Anfield 3-4. We were in our worst moment and we beat them 1-0, right? And they haven't won with fans. They haven't won.
Gomez and James Milner at the back.
Pardon?
That was Joe Gomez.
and James
Joe
Milner at the back.
Gomez right back. Yeah.
I remember. But I mean, that's my point, right? Where it's like, I'm going to be watching this game with nerves regardless, just because it's more a mental, like the players' action. That's why winning this game, regardless of the form City's in, is going to be a huge mental boost for us if we can
Specifically given where it's at as well.
Yeah, because it's at the Etihad, right? We don't win there. Like, you have to factor that in. Like, you can't disrespect, regardless of what we're seeing from City, that is a place where we struggle to get wins. Even at the best of times, our best form, like, we haven't really won there. So I think it's much more about a mental aspect of weathering the storm. There's going to be moments where it doesn't look good for us, where they're going to be in control, even though this is the worst City. but it's about the players being able to do what they haven't done these last 3 or 4 games, which is keep their resolve and just stay resolute, stay the course and play our game. Just trust the game plan, play our game, and then everything you said should come into play. Like, let's try to win the midfield, try to get the ball into Salah, try to get hopefully Gakpo's there and we can get the ball into him as well. I'm hoping Jota can play 90 minutes. Let's see what happens from there. But to me, it's a mental thing, this game.
I will
Hopes
say
for the
one
same thing you
thing.
do, because he wants that as well.
I will say one thing. The difference between City before and now is the Etihad isn't a fortress anymore. Teams are going to the Etihad knowing that they can get at City and they can.
And
get
one
goals.
more difference I'd say is Nico Gonzalez, to be fair to him.
Yeah, I mean, he's new as well. He's a new guy. He's only played a couple of games. So same with Mamouche. Like, Mamouche played the whole of the Real Madrid game as well, by the way. So he might be a bit goosed. But look, we can get at City. They've got frailties at the back. They've got defenders missing. The biggest issue I've got right now, and I don't know whether people know about this, but we've conceded 5 goals in 6 shots on target. That's how bad we are at conceding goals from shots right now. And we need to just get a clean sheet. We need to get a clean sheet. And if we can get one against these, I think it will be really, really good for the team. And it could help us kick on. And we could go a couple of games without conceding any goals. And we need to do what Burnley are doing. Like, Burnley haven't conceded the goal in like 20 odd games or something daft. Like, we need to just be able to shut shop now because we're starting to leak goals off minimal chances. And we can all talk about how bad the Villa game was in the end, but they only had about 4 shots on goal, and 2 of them went in straight away. It's like seriously, like,
I know I might
stop that.
I know I might get hung up from the Raptors for
Oh,
this.
there you go. You're on camera. Go on.
There we go. It's the bright
I
time.
just sensed my spidey senses said he's about to say some wild shit. So
yeah, I know. The issue is his last performance. But if Darwin Núñez didn't suck, this would actually be the game for Darwin Núñez. Unfortunately, I think that the last game sort of kind of threw that out the window. If he didn't have those 2 opportunities, I think I would, like, if this was 2 games prior, if the Villa game never happened and we didn't make the Carabao Cup final and we were on 25 games, I would be saying that we should play Darwin in this, especially because of our fears for fitness with Jota. And I think that Jota would actually do better coming off the bench in a game like this and playing the last 40 than playing the first 60. But it really sucks that he had to go out and do that and then perform the end of the game. Because, I mean, when Real Madrid were playing long balls in behind City, that last Wednesday, they were absolutely completely all over the place. No one was in the right position. It was chaos left and right. And that's exactly what Darwin would do for you. You would play the ball in behind a space and he would just create chaos. And somehow City would figure out a way to fuck up their positioning and we would score. But again, I know I'm going to get hung up on the Raptors for that take. And I don't think it's going to happen because of his prior performance. But I do think that if we were on 5% better form and he didn't miss those 2 opportunities, this would be the right game for a profile of his player. And we don't have another person like that in our team, unfortunately.
It's been 3 years and we're still saying this is the game for Darwin.
Don't take it like that, Jamie. Don't take it like that, Jamie.
He didn't interrupt you when you have full screen. Let him talk. Go on, Jamie.
Okay, go.
Darwin Núñez hasn't got game. There's no game for Darwin. If Darwin came to my 5-a-side pitches, he wouldn't get a game. You'd be like, sod off. Go away. You can't play on grass. You think you're going to be able to play on a 4D pitch? What are we doing here? You know what I mean? No, there's no game for Darwin. Darwin's got about as much game as Andy Townsend. What are we doing, man? No, he's got no game. No. There's no situation. We just saw Darwin Núñez with open goals situation. We saw Darwin Núñez with a Russian goalkeeper coming out feet first, 30 yards off his goal, all that grass to run into. There is
Unlike
no
Darwin, Mike is
situation.
actually scoring. Seems like.
Mike would have chipped the rolled it to Salah and we would have been 3-2 up.
I would have. Listen, I'm tall and I'm quick. I could have gone to that ball.
No. Look. If Darwin goes and scores,
That was hilarious because I just knew the moment he said that first statement, gonna get hung up in the rafters. I knew exactly the direction he's headed in. Known him long.
You can't say I'm wrong. Like, listen.
I think you are wrong. The chat's gone mad.
Yes.
Listen, that's fine, bro. They're wrong about things every single week, right? But regardless, the
reason why I think you're wrong is what Jamie said.
Remove the name. Remove the name. That profile, pacey in behind.
No technique, no touch.
Okay.
No finishing ability.
Jerry, I just said
No brain.
Remove the name for a second. The only player up front that we have.
I think it's time we sign Usain Bolt. I'll be honest with you.
Right.
I
reckon he'd have scored that chance.
Right. I want to say a statement here.
Probably
I want to put all the Darwin Núñez fans to bed right now, right? So all these Darwin Núñez fans that absolutely love him, right? Cost 85 million. They've got the Darwin Núñez fan camps. They've got tents outside France. They can't get into Britain. All the Darwin Núñez fans, they love it, yeah? Right? If I told you we were going to buy Chris Wood as our main striker, every Liverpool fan would go on protest and wouldn't give him a chance. Chris Wood has outscored Darwin Núñez since Darwin Núñez has been at Liverpool. I would rather have Chris Wood, but because he's called Darwin Núñez, yeah, and he's got a missus who looks 20 years older than him, yeah, and he's violent and he's chaos. What's chaos? What is chaos? Suarez was chaos and he was world class. What's all this chaos shit? I'd rather have Chris Wood as my striker right now instead of Darwin Núñez. Because it's Darwin, we've got to protect him. Every Liverpool fan would go absolutely mad if we bought Chris Wood. But Chris Wood is a better striker. And I'm just going to leave it there.
You know what's wild? You just hit the nail on the head. When we signed him, yeah, and we all thought he was going to be amazing at scoring, yeah, we then changed it and said, he causes chaos. That's why we're playing him. So he's really good at making all the defenders run around and he causes chaos. And then he was shit after that. And then it was, no, he's good at assisting. He's good at providing.
Yeah, and now he stopped that as well.
Now it's he's good at defending. He's a defensive. He's a false.
He's good at fuck all. That's what he's good at.
He's a false striker.
We've now got Joelinton.
He is Joelinton. He is.
He can never be Joelinton because Joelinton has the football basics, you guys.
If you went and try and buy Joelinton on Temu, Darwin Núñez ends up at your doorstep.
I agree.
And you have to wait 6 weeks.
I've bought stuff from Temu as well, so I know exactly what Temu is like. You know, the picture is never like the reality. You know, they're like, oh, Champions League trophy. And I think it's this big. In the end, it's this big. You fucking barely see it on the screen. But it's the Champions League trophy still. You get me? The reason why Joelinton thing worked is because Joelinton has a first touch. He has football IQ. And he can pass the football. Joelinton's problem at Newcastle was actually just goal scoring. Everything else he had.
Well, he wasn't actually a striker.
Núñez's problem is the whole sport. That's the problem with that.
I bet you Darwin Núñez is excellent at badminton.
I don't think
that's excellent at what?
I don't think so because there'll be times where he has to caress the racket and he just whacks it and it hits the net and it hits the net.
Volleyball.
It hits the net.
Oh my god! I fucking love Jamie, man. No, Husam, not Chiesa. No. Poor take, you fraud. Listen, Chiesa or Darwizi, Red Line Teranga? That's the only question I'm gonna ask. Yeah.
Which Darwin get the winner now, by the way? Which Darwin get the winner?
The one bright side is it looks like Saudi hasn't been scared off, so we might get bailed out. So
that's because what they don't know, their scouts are showing them Benfica Darwin footage. That's what's going on.
They see a red kit and they're like, that's him at Liverpool. Yeah. And by the way, it was just that one season. The season before that, he was shit.
Yeah, he got 6 goals a season.
It's fine. It's fine. Just play Trent.
He's been his whole life, other than that 1 year at Benfica, literally. Like that's his only year, you know.
By the way, same as Luis Diaz at Porto. Certainly same calendar year we bought it at Darwin.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, I'd sell both. So let me just get you guys' predictions before we wrap up. Tell me your predictions for this Sunday. JJ, start with you.
He's going to go with a draw.
Can you not stop going with a
Can I
draw?
go
You
first?
sit on the
Can I
fence
go first
fraud.
with the
Stop going
positivity?
with a draw.
I drew. I went for a draw in the last game, and I was right. I said 2-2. And
You
I-
were. You said
no,
2-2.
you said that about Wolves. You said 2-2 draw to Wolves.
Yes.
You know, but I also said the same thing for Aston Villa. I'm gonna go.
Think for this.
I'm
You're
gonna
a
go.
footballing man. You know they don't have the athleticism to do the boxing.
All right, 3-2 win to Liverpool.
Let's go, JJ. Let's go.
Just Darwin winner. Wink.
Yeah, it's definitely Darwin.
Oh, come on. Come on. No more of this.
Not
No
even
more
gonna
of
be
this.
on
No more
the bench.
Darwin.
He took his credibility so high, and then he just throw it in the ocean.
It's the game for Darwin. Come on, Darwin. It's the game for him.
What's your prediction, Jamie? Tell me.
4-3 Liverpool.
Okay, Emeka.
Christ. Yeah, my head is truthfully, my head is telling me 2-2, but I think I'm hoping we'll squeeze out a 2-1. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think if they score 2, I don't think we're gonna win the game. If they score more than 1 goal, I don't think we're gonna.
I'm going 4-3 because I think we'll be 4-1 up and we could see 2 late goals.
Okay, fair.
That's what happened at Anfield.
I'm going back to
club
the game.
first game.
That game.
Maikinho.
I back my midfield to get the job done, to control the game, to secure it for us. And if Robertson plays like he did against Villa, I don't think Savio is going to be too big of an issue. So we need to have a clean sheet. And I'm going to go in with positive energy. I'm going to go in with manifestation. I'm not going to do a realistic prediction. Fuck all that. We need a clean sheet. We need to go 4-0 up on these guys in a calendar year. I want a 2-0 win. I want it nice. I want it pretty. I don't want them getting shit. I want them kicking the ball at the back of their own end at the end of the game because they can't be fucking asked to play football. And I want all of us just sitting on the halfway line, smoking cigars, playing cards. So 2-0.
Kmack.
He kind of took my thunder there. 2-0 as well. Clean sheet. Canate header.
I'm going to go for a 3-1. I think we're going to be 2-1 up. They're going to be attacking us. I will score a counter-attack goal at the end. I said that on every stream. I said that on TV when I made the appearance today. 3-1, 3-1, 3-1, 3-1. I'll be keeping the same energy everywhere I'm going because I genuinely believe it. I actually think we're just going to be 2-1 up. We'll score twice. They'll get one back. They'll keep attacking us. And then boom, on the counter-attack, Guardiol will get slapped up by the Egyptian king.
I think they're going to leave a little bit of space in behind.
I agree.
I just don't see Pep sitting. He's the home team, so I think he's going to be very front-footed. He's going to play. I think he's going to play a lot of pace. He's going to play Mamouche and Silvinho and Foden in that forward area. So he's going to play with a lot of pace in that area of the pitch. And with no Akanji and Stones there who can bring the ball out. And if they're playing Nunes again at right back, that's why I'm hoping Cody's fit. Because if he's playing Nunes at right back, Cody will eat that up. And I think we can take advantage of it. So that's why I'm going for a big score.
My mind just done a spin when Jamie was talking because I fully thought he was saying Slot will play Nunes at right back. Then I realized he meant Matthias Nunes for City. So anyway, listen, let me just wrap up the stream. Love you all, man. This has been an absolutely fantastic show. I'll see you guys tomorrow, inshallah, for Arsenal West Ham. Sean, please remind me in the morning. Please put an alarm. First thing in the morning, message me about that. Yalla, see you guys tomorrow, inshallah.